Hey y'all, it's me, your girl Tiff, and I'm back with another video.
You are now listening to Silverback Monstertainment.
Silverback.
So, this video that I'm dropping today, I shot, remember my May Day vlog? That was the last vlog that I did. If you didn't see it, you better go back and watch the May Day vlog. Well, this is more or less a continuation of that day because I had the most amazing conversation about men and women and the differences between us and relationships with my girls, Undomesticated John and Queen DMC. And it was just a really good conversation, but it made the vlog too long to play it all out. So guess what your girl did? Because y'all need to hear it too. Your girl is going to pull it out of the vlog, and I'm inserting it in this video. Yes, I am. So just be patient with me, right? Let's sit back. Go get a glass of wine or tea or whatever it is that you like to drink, and maybe a little snacky snack, some tree if that's what you do, and get ready for this awesome conversation. I'm taking you back in time, all the way to May 1st. Rewind. So we're sitting here at the Rec Philly, and I am with Miss Queen DMC and the great Naya Colbert.
No hate, no anger, no nothing behind it. It's like, okay, we come to it and just...
I just tried to record a super dope conversation and I didn't record shit.
All women,
Let's try this again.
women
Recording.
negated from being a woman. I'm a woman. I just want to be the girl.
Yeah. Let me just be the girl.
But it's almost like either with sex or how relationships are or how women are, and they be like, or children. Childbirth was super easy for me.
Yeah.
It was like bam, nothing. But then every other woman is like, it's so hard, and it says, I'm a woman too. Why is my story not being?
Yeah, because it wasn't that hard for me
Yeah,
either.
why is my story not?
That's
being
not
heard?
my story.
Good for you guys.
But everybody else is like majority of people's story. And it's like,
No, now
My
pregnancy
story
was hell.
totally different.
Mine.
Yeah, pregnancy was hell.
I don't even talk
Childbirth
But
wasn't.
everybody's story should be separated and heard.
Yeah.
But the majority of the time, it's like, oh, having a baby's hard. Having this, and it's like, I know it's not. Yo, that's just you.
like
You, it's other people. And I'm like, but I'm a people. I'm
Right,
a
and
people
you
too.
are people.
Yeah, my story.
And I
is-
gotta write the
So what
film.
do you going back to the
yes, that's what it
podcast
is.
about the men? Like, how do you
Oh, let me
feel?
tell you what it is because you ain't have.
Yes, because I sure enough didn't.
Okay, now she gotta say it on
I didn't have it recorded.
It's called Untold Stories, and
Okay.
my YouTube channel is Undomesticated John, all one word.
Okay.
I like it.
So how do you feel? I understand, your idea about men not having a voice because the only voice that's heard is on that negative side. So you don't actually get to hear the whole story of why they got there or anything like that. But how do you feel about those specifically, because I'm a black woman, those black woman bashing podcasts?
I don't see them, but I do like. Give me an example of some.
Like
men
Kevin
bashing.
Samuels, things like
Kevin
that.
Samuels. That's that weirdo. The weirdo dude.
Yeah, he's the
Weirdo dude
guy.
who's like, I'm so pretty.
Yeah, but there's a lot of them where they talk about, a lot of them talk about how women at a certain age are washed up, or they talk about black women being so bitter, and that's the only thing that they talk about.
Black
And like,
women, or they usually like something light, damn near white, or white. That's what usually
Well, yeah,
happens.
usually that's what they're
And that's
talking
just
about.
Maybe even on the down
And that's
low.
when you say, hey, or that too. And that's when you say, hey, these aren't the type of people I should listen to because they don't like themselves. And they clearly don't like black women because
Right.
the women that they usually choose are like white, damn near white.
Are you
or all
open to
white.
hearing their stories on your show
definitely,
too?
definitely.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
that's what I mean. Like, how do you know?
Because then we can dive into why is it that you think here like mine is not good and you like and here that is straight is because then that layers onto what you say about black women.
Yeah.
Why do you think a woman who's lighter is easier than a woman who's darker? Because then that layers on to why you say these things about black
Yeah.
women. There's a root to why you do these things.
Exactly.
And let's talk about it. So, all kind of men. Everybody. I doesn't say they have a right to have their voice and we want to hear each other. And then we see each other's perspectives.
Yeah.
Sometimes we won't see it. And that's fine too, because that's just life. But my thing is, I created it because I kept hearing, I got tired of hearing people bashing our men. And I grew up with some amazing men.
Yeah.
My daddy is my best friend. My uncles, they're so protective and loving. And even to the point where when I'm out, and I didn't notice this until like I started noticing people bashing men so much. When I'm out, my male cousins, first of all, I can't go in my pocket and get anything because I'm going to get a beating if I even offer them.
Really?
And they're like, let me buy what? What are like?
Yeah.
Can I just treat you something? All right, I'm not going to touch nothing in my pockets because they were taught us to protect and just serve us.
Look at that.
Yeah.
And when we're out, I noticed this where whenever my male cousins or the men in my family are out, anybody that approaches us, they take a stance of go on guard anytime. And I was like,
Yeah.
this is so funny. Like,
Yeah.
and they have to get through them, male, woman, whoever, before they get to us. All the time. And I was like,
Now, that's a village.
oh,
That's how
That's
men
a
are
village.
supposed to be. That's
And-
how I was raised. I
and
think
my
that's how
dad-
men supposed to be.
yeah, my dad always told me, he said, why do you think men have muscles? Because they're the protectors of the jewels. That's all we're here to do is protect and serve y'all. And let y'all be as beautiful and amazing because y'all have a huge job to do. Y'all shouldn't have
We
to think
create
about
nations.
We
That's
do.
what-
We give birth
we
to
actually-
ideas, with everything, the
now.
world. And he's like, y'all have so much to do. We are just here. We just want to serve you. Like
I heard that
podcast,
say recently. I heard a man say that recently. There was like that everyone wants to think that men are these great leaders. No, they're protectors.
we guide them and they lead.
Yes.
Because like I have a poem that I wrote where is I don't want to dirty my hands. That's your job.
Yeah.
I shouldn't hear any
You see the
harshness.
neck, though?
I shouldn't hear any harshness of the world because you protect me from that. Because my mind should be always thinking about being beautiful and creating. And that's what they. So
Because that's what we are. We are creators. We are
so
the
much to
ultimate
do.
creators. We can bring life into the
Yeah.
world.
we give
Like
life to their ideas. We give life and creation to the world. We dig into the soil and make the soil good. So what do I need to do? Carry some trash out? I can't. Come on.
Come on
Why
now.
am I fixing? I don't fix tires. So-
yeah.
That
Because
part.
there's some things that I didn't do growing up because because women don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm not.
And if I have to do it, then I'm going to do it with an attitude because I have to. But I'm going to do it
Oh,
because
we're
I have
capable
to.
of doing everything.
I know because we
Right,
go
I
on to
know.
survival mode.
Right.
Yeah,
Who
we
created the men?
yeah, we go into survival mode. So when we have to, we know how to, and we do it.
Yeah.
Do we want to?
I'm not.
Do we think we should?
I'm not.
Hell no.
I used to have a neighbor. I used to be like, excuse me, you trash that. Wasn't my man nothing, just a neighbor. He'd be like, all right. Hey,
getting to
I
the
found
point
the
though.
mouse. All right, because that's men. My dad always said, if it wasn't for women, we wouldn't even wash up.
Wow.
He said, 'cause we
I
only
definitely, I
feel
do
good
believe
for
it.
y'all. We only get nice
I
cars
believe
for
it.
y'all.
I believe
We
it.
only have a will to do because it is innate. This is what my dad says. I'm not a man.
Okay.
It's innate for us to have a responsibility. And if we don't have a responsibility, we're still boys and we're lost. So when I hear women like men this, men ain't this, men this, I'm like, maybe there's a miscommunication because many women think people are supposed to think just like them. They don't have the brain capacity to do it. No, seriously, they don't. There's certain kind of thinkers, and I'm not saying they're dumb or anything.
No,
but
no,
we're
no.
certain
No,
kind of
I get it.
They don't have that capacity to think of all these steps where we think of steps. They're like, do, finish, done. And we're like, but you didn't think about this. I can't. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. And
Okay.
we're expecting them to be something that they're not. And they are forced to accept everything about us. How fair is that?
Yeah. I have tons of conversations with men about the black, white, and gray. And they're black, white.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but there's gray.
Not for them.
Not for them.
And you
It's
have to
the
accept
beginning,
that.
and then there's the outcome. That middle didn't even happen as far as they're concerned. And that's what we,
And that's what
where
we
we
say,
live.
go do it. And they're like, okay, I'll do it. Stop, okay, I'll stop. That's all they willing to do. They don't want to think about nothing else. And we like to do it and think about it. And they're like, oh my God, I'm dying.
Like, why is it
But
so
you got to
difficult? Why is it
remember
so-
that,
Their favorite
you
thing
know.
to say is, why is it so complicated? I'm like, it's not complicated.
To them it is.
To them it is. That makes a lot of sense.
But then we're like, and then the other part of it is like, well, you got to get that and understand us, and we don't have to change. Because they're not saying stop being complicated, just think the way we think. They have to accept us for who we are, but we keep continuously saying, but you should change and be like how we think and we do, because you should do it like that. That's not fair. So that's what made me create the podcast. And I'm like, what are these women talking about? I don't know nothing but good. I only know, even dating, whether it worked out or not, I have only known good men in my life. I can't be the only one. So it has to be something that people
I
are
know
doing
both.
to create their energy, bring forth into their life.
I can get it because I actually know both. I know both ends. Even within my family, I know it from both sides. My brothers are amazing.
Okay, so we just gotta move in
we gotta
closer, like we like each other. Like we really like each other. I'll move this out the way.
Yeah, I have.
Okay. And we can get.
Because I can squeeze in right here.
Here we go.
Yep.
Here we go.
I know both. You know, my brothers are awesome. My brothers will protect me to the end, and I know that. My father, on the other hand, I'm not so sure about.
Also,
You know.
we are flawed people. We're perfectly imperfect in our perfection. And we, not saying we have to understand where things come from, but when you learn someone's story, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Now, you're not absolved from the things you do, but now that I know your story, I understand why you're incapable of doing these things. You can't get blood from a turnip.
That's why I always say when I hear men bashing women, especially like I said, us, the black men bashing black women. First thing I think of is who hurt you, Tintin?
Yeah.
You know, and another thing I learned about black men and how they bash, when has a little boy been able to touch his mother's hair? When his mother is constantly putting other hair in their hair and saying that their hair is bad? When has a little boy been able to see his mother's face without saying, I gotta make myself up because something's wrong with how I look? So when they start bashing women and other women that look like certain ways, and they start gravitating to other women because they're emulating what their mothers has done. I don't see a lot of, I'm telling you, I see a lot. I don't see a lot of black women being grateful for their beautiful black hair and letting their children touch all over it and be grateful for it. So why would they ever initially think that it's something good about themselves when their parents are showing that it's something bad about them in your face? You learn by what your parents are doing, how they move.
Yeah, because black women a lot of times tear ourselves down by trying to emulate other things.
So if you have a child that's looking at you who's constantly saying, I have cousins who are like, they never show their hair. It's always wigged up, weaved up, and if they do have hair, my hair so big, my hair is. So your children are hearing you say that. So why would they choose someone that look like you if you constantly saying there's something wrong with you? Why would you, if you're constantly bashing another man or something, why would you have women want to choose something better? Or even choose to
how we speak.
Yeah, how you speak.
it's
Your
very
children are
important.
looking at you.
You know what? It makes a lot of sense from how you were talking about how they don't necessarily process things the same way we do, and we think about things in layers and things like that, because automatically to me, I'm looking at history.
Right.
I'm looking at, yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking about history.
The
I'm
steps
thinking
that
about the
came
steps
behind
that,
it.
like, I'm thinking about why our women do this in the first place. And then I'm thinking you should love us just because we endured that. But they don't think that same way. So when I look at men, I think about the stuff in the background. I think about how they got to a certain place. So because of that, yeah, you do often forget that everybody's not going to think the way you do. So therefore, yeah, it hurts me if you call me and say I'm bitter or I'm angry or I'm too strong, but yet you completely ignore why I got to be the way that I am.
But the other thing is, and that's for both people, it shouldn't even matter why we should love each other anyway.
It shouldn't. It should just be.
It should never, like, it was something that posted or something. I said, everybody chose to go to the negative first. What does that say about you if everything you do when you look at something, you always go to the negative? Who are you in this world if everything, the first thing you do, you have a choice. Someone steps on your foot, you can be like, oh man, they was in a rush. Or you can say, oh, they stepped on my foot. It's two choices. Yeah. One thing happened, but you can look at it two different ways. But when you constantly looking at it in the negative, you are creating more negativity in the world. So if you have a parent who, like my dad ain't shit. I love him, he's my best friend. You know he ain't shit. If you see this, you know you ain't shit. But, no, I can't say that. I apologize for cussing. You know, but you edit S.
My dad ain't.
But I love you.
I love my dad.
A lot of things that
I love him. He ain't here no more, but I love him.
But I also choose to see the positive of who my dad is. My father had me.
Yeah.
He's the one that wanted. My mother didn't want me. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her.
Okay.
My dad was an alcoholic, a drunk, and all kinds of crazy, horrible things. But my dad also took me down to the powwow so I could know my indigenous culture. He kept me into rituals. He taught, like, as he was learning everything he learned, I learned. My dad had me on his back while he was cutting people. He was a flawed person who was doing his best with what he had. He didn't have a father. His father was in and out of jail. But what he chose to see out his father is when he would see his father come home and he was doing yoga. Black man doing yoga back in the 50s and the 60s.
Yeah.
Speaking different languages, teaching himself how to play the trumpet. He also showed, he says this on my podcast, how a certain respect changed for his father when he saw the welfare lady come in and his father jump out the window. You know, it's so many different layers of things. Yeah. So with that, and he's his father's son, I'm nothing too. You know what I mean? All those kind of things that you did. My father's dyslexic. I'm dyslexic. Luckily, I had black teachers to be like, oh, ain't nothing wrong because you're smart. But him, they want to put him in the LD class. Wow. My dad's a genius. My dad has created patents for things with the wheelchair. I mean, all kinds of stuff. But even now, because he was told he was done, because we don't read the same as what this dumb society tells us to do, he still has self-doubt for himself. So as he's growing up with self-doubt, how is he going to be a great example as a parent? He did the best he could. Right. I can look at all the negatives like how my other siblings do, look at all the negatives of what my father has done, because there are a lot. But he took us down south. He drove us down south every year. That's how we went. We didn't have money. We drove in a car. So it's what you choose to see out of that person and what you choose to hold on to, because you can't. It's something positive about every situation, everything. It's just how you look at it.
I'm gonna have to dig real deep, because right now.
Yeah, you might have to dig real deep. Really? But then when you do that, it sets you free. It sets the negativity inside of you free, because now you're looking at everything in a positive way. When you're looking at things in a positive way, you're enveloping nothing but positive.
Nothing but positive.
As soon as you look at something in a negative way, it brings you into a negative space, and you get to choose whether you want to do that.
It's like flipping the switch. That's how I see it. It's like flipping. Because I know I can go get real moody real quick. Tiffany knows. But I'm learning to be able to do it, because I have a child that we go back and forth.
Oh, I got one out in like.
And it's amazing how much we have so much in common. Like, she does a lot of the same things that I do, but she do it on her level. And it's like we always try, like, we get into a nice little rhythm, everything be fine. And today was a day that happened. And then we regrouped. We're learning to step away from the situation. This was the first time, though. And it was really difficult, because it's like she looks just like me. So I look at her sometimes and I'm like, I can't slip her, because you know what? She looked just like me. I don't want to mess up her face. Like, who wants to mess up that face? Like, and then she'll be like, my mom hit me, you know, and I'm like, no, I didn't mean to. But I needed to bust you open, because that mouth, baby, like, sometimes, like, you can't do that to me. And I'm like, I be hitting myself. You know, but anyway, we did that and it was good. Like, 'cause she was supposed to just drop me off at 63rd and Market, and she ended up bringing me all the way down here, and she wanted to make sure I was okay. But we had like got into it like maybe like an hour and a half prior. And I was like, take all your shit. You mean, excuse me? I was like, take all your stuff because I don't even want it. You know. But it's good, and it's like that with relationships with me too, because a lot of times, you know, I have to look at, okay, I'm an older woman, and I've been married. I got the T-shirt, the coffee cup, all this stuff, and it's like now, like I want that piece of just being with one person, but I also know that there is some stuff. I got some stuff with me, you know what I mean? And I don't really like certain things that I used to take. I don't take anymore. You know, and I'm very, because I'm an artist, I'm very wordy. I take stuff very, very seriously. Like, I'll be like, wait a minute, but you said back there on the 8th at 10:45 a.m. that you was going to do XYZ and you didn't do XYZ, and I was like, wait a minute.
But you know how I was talking to, and I've been married, but I'm not married anymore. I would love to have multiple husbands if you're out there.
Hello, y'all heard that?
I'll take care of you.
You heard that? She said she got you. You, and you.
And your grandfather too. But it was in a way, like I see how we think differently. Instead of like, well, you didn't do this, like, oh, you know what? Remember you said that you would do this, and I had to do it, and it really hurt my back, or really did this, and it would have been so great because I know you're so wonderful and you're so strong to be able to do stuff like that. And they were like,
I learned so much.
My muscles, you and me, my muscles.
Yeah, me, my muscles, all of these
But
muscles.
when you, because one thing I've learned about men, I know just being surrounded by men, they're warriors. No one's going to attack unless they're going to attack back.
That makes a lot of
sense.
sense.
That's what they're supposed to do. But when you say, oh, you know what, bitch, you picked that book up. Oh my God, you strong. Would you go get that trash from? This trash, what else you wouldn't pick up? It's just how you communicate with people. Because I know if I was a man and someone's coming to me in a defensive way, I'm going to attack back.
Yeah.
Because that's my nature.
Yeah.
I'm here to protect, and no one's going to penetrate
But
the
it
protection.
seems like sometimes when I'm nice and stuff like that, that doesn't work either.
It's not nice, it's very straightforward, and it's like,
But
let
it's
me
in
just,
the
you know
jargon.
what? It's just the way you say
Okay,
things.
all right.
Yeah, you know what? Remember last week when I was saying we gotta do that? Oh, you don't remember? Let me tell you again. So, last week when you touched your arm,
Oh
and you
my
played with your
God!
hand.
I feel like I am in class.
It's like 101 how to
Where
make
is
it
my
right.
notebook?
It's so much easier. Like,
With Naya.
you want me to do it? I'll do it. And you're like, yeah, good boy, good boy. You want to trade? And they're happy with it because they're very simple natures.
Look at this. This
And
all
we
we
keep trying
needed
to
was a
make
class
them
with
feel
Naya. 101.
We just needed.
And we get frustrated because you're talking to a brick wall because they are getting yes, and they trying to follow through, but we say so many words.
Was I talking to you about how men watch your mouth while you're talking,
'cause
but
they're
they don't
visual
actually hear you?
No, and that's what you do if you want to make it look real
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
talk.
And you could tell from the look on their face, they're like this.
And then I said,
You
you could
can
say,
know something like
and guess
this, and
what?
And every once in a while, you see them shake their head.
Yeah, because they're trying
So
to.
how many of those you wanted? Thousands.
Yeah, and that's all it really takes.
And they don't actually hear it. They're like, well, tell me about your day. And you're just,
But then
and
you
the
say,
whole
oh, my
time,
day
the whole time they're just like this.
But you say my day was.
You gotta hold his
and
hands
then,
up.
oh, your hands are nice and cold. They're nice and cold because I was cold out there and I need a hat. And they like, oh, just cold face hat. That's all they.
He said, cold face head.
All they doing is watching your mouth. They ain't hear nothing you said. So you got to give them clues
Yeah, it's
to
all
kind of bring them back
and then you
in.
get to be all feminine and stuff. You're like, you feel good instead of being so hard and rough because you don't feel good.
I'm gonna
when
try.
you
You know
back.
what? This is what I want
would
everybody to do. We're
love-
gonna try it all day long. After this, we're gonna do it all day long.
I would love to actually have them hear me.
They just you say, oh, I like your sneakers. We did. Ooh, you got some big feet, strong feet.
I guess my thing is that I actually want them to hear me.
They are hearing you,
They
but
are.
they can't hear you even if all the words you're saying. They can't hear you because that's not their language. That's like me speaking to you in Chinese, and I'm like, I want you to hear me, but you're like, I don't understand you. And I'm like, but that's not fair. You should understand me. I'm speaking to you in something that I understand, so you should understand it. That's exactly how it is. So when you're like, oh, really? Ooh, you know what? Like, you know, you like my fingers? My fingers look nice. I really want a ring to go on that finger. That look nice. My size is like a size 5 or 6, you know.
You know, we should go.
When are we gonna go? Look. We could just go look. And you have to touch
And then
stuff.
they could just measure it.
And she
for
said,
me
look, she didn't
while
even
we're
blink, but she
there.
said she looked dead in your eye like,
And make them feel important. You know, you're the only person I would love to do this for.
look at that. Look. It's the look of
Instead
love.
saying, oh, I need you to get me this and this. No, automatically, no, I'm not doing it. You're not going to make me do anything with me. But I would really like for you.
But it would be really, really nice if, you know,
And since you're a really, really nice guy.
Yes. Really, really nice.
And it's not even about letting someone get away with something, or it's why not be sweet.
Yeah. Makes sense to me.
there's no
you feel
other.
better.
You know, my sister was just saying that you get more bees
Flies.
with honey
Was it more bees with honey than
than with flies. I mean, than
flies?
with, I don't know. You get,
Oh, no.
you get,
I
I
know
know
what
what
you're
you're
trying
trying
to
to say. I know what I meant when I said what I said.
It's the flies, the bees, and the honey, all of that.
Like,
Bees,
fuck the
honey,
semantics.
flies.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
want the honey.
But the other
Goddamn
thing is, how does that make you feel when you have to get yourself worked up?
Yeah.
It doesn't make you feel
Yeah.
good.
No.
Because that's negative energy.
No, any
that I
negative
don't
energy to me hurts. Literally. Being sad hurts, being angry hurts. Just having negativity around, like it's actually a physical discomfort to me.
Like I had to speak to this my friend of mine. Okay. We were talking, and we're friends because I love him and he loves me, but it's not working out.
Okay.
But we were talking about why it didn't work out, and at one point he was like, "What did I say? Hey, you're yelling. Why are you yelling?" He said, "Oh, I am yelling." Okay. So I wanted to say, I could say, "You ain't yelling. You ain't gonna do this." That doesn't
You
make
ain't gonna
no-
talk to me like that.
I
Da,
didn't say,
da, 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 da.
"Hey, you're yelling." And while I'm saying I'm smiling, you're
That's
yelling.
it. Remember that.
I know, you know I am. You know I am. Because he just likes to talk loud. He's like, he gets up and everything. He'd be like, oh. I'd be like, you're putting on a performance right now, so I'm just going to sit here and watch.
But you saying something like that, if somebody said that to you, how would you feel?
I would have attitude.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you get there, you
Like,
say,
you know what, let me get the popcorn. Because you performing, that's just how I be.
like, hey,
But I'm going to do that, I'm like, hey, you know you're yelling? Did you know that?
come sit next to me.
Come
Let's
over here,
talk.
sit down a little bit.
And touch the hand.
Woo,
Let's
woo,
just
woo.
talk. Don't you do that.
I'm like, take a pants off. That's what I should say.
And you can do that too. Come here, let me take a little bit. Let me take. And you can have a
We'll cut that
conversation
part.
with me while I'm there.
Yeah, you know.
And everything changes.
We need to hum.
But it's also the energy that you put out is what you're going to get back. And you have to realize we're different people.
Yeah.
We're different energies, we're different spectrum, size of spectrum, and you're
This
not
is so
going to come
good.
to
I
a
just
man
needed this
in a
today.
manly
This is
way.
so dope.
And then you come to him in a manly way, you're a woman, he can't do what he want to do if he was a man. So how much more frustration is there?
Yeah.
And just be sweet. You know, it's so good. It's so good.
Be sweet, because being sweet is nice.
It's good for your heart. It's good for your liver. It's good for your lungs. It's good for all your organ systems. You're not putting yourself in the shower.
Sometimes I just want to get mad.
have a,
I really want to just get mad at the fact that,
have
like,
a,
you should know me by now.
So a lot of
Like,
people
You should know him by now.
I should, but he
So
should
why
know
do
me.
he know you? He should know him. See, that's where the fear thing comes in. Y'all should
That's
know
what he
each
should
other.
know. He need to get that right. But you're right.
I
You're right.
have a TikTok that I did where it was like, why do you smile so much? Because everybody's talking, why do you smile? And I said, it's my happy go fuck it mentality.
And it feels so much better.
And it
doing
feels
that.
so
It does,
much
because I
better.
look so much better when I'm smiling than when I'm angry.
It's like, it's my happy go fuck it
But it makes
mentality.
everything else inside of you smile too.
Yeah.
Like once you do this, like even when you're angry or you're going through something, if you automatically just smile and push through it and smile, then everything else starts to smile.
And
too.
people-
I start
and a lot of
laughing
times
'cause
people
there's
don't
a
realize-
whole lot of people that live inside.
A lot of people don't realize that, like,
Okay, here
me
comes happy.
at my saddest point, and you see me smiling, that's me pushing
Pushing.
through.
Yes.
So that's because if I wasn't smiling, I would be crying. So that smile was just that little bit of boost that I needed to get me past that day. You know, and I wish more people understood that. You know, yeah, some people who are just like, one thing can happen and it'll fuck up the whole day.
Your day.
Made my day, everybody else's day, and then you're still miserable. But if you let it go, you didn't lose anything.
It's still, you can't change it.
You can't change it. Yeah, so just let it go.
You can change how you feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can stay in that space. Because there's some people where you can, like, I used to walk up and down Fourth Street, Avenue of Arts, and I would just go and smile at people. And then, like, and you'd see them like, or like, or some people
There's
like,
certain places you can do that at. Philly is not one of them.
Yeah, I do it. I would say, hey, queen, or it says, I dressed them.
Oh my God, yeah, talk to
and you can see them all, like, sometimes smile, but like,
and it makes so much of a difference because, like, especially in your neighborhood, I speak to everybody in my neighborhood.
I love
and now
when
it's to the point they be like, hey queen, how you feeling today? Because we need that type of banter.
and it changes
It
the
does.
energy.
It does.
Because you can change the energy around you.
Yeah, you can.
Because sometimes I rarely get this when men are disrespectful. I always get very disrespectful men. Somebody get a little crazy one, and they say something, and I'm like, no, I say, motherfucker, didn't you say this to you? And you know I love you, and I'm gonna let you go around here acting like that. You gonna treat me better, ain't you?
That's right.
Oh no, it's you right, you know. Like, hey, I love you, hey, love you.
That's right. That's how you gotta do it. See,
Have a good day.
that's that realness that we be talking about. You
Sometimes
are.
I gotta straighten them
You
out
from
a
West
little bit.
Philly?
I'm from North.
North. Oh, okay. That's even better.
North with the RF.
She was the
But sometimes you do, but then that changes
Sometimes, yeah, you
how
gotta
they
do that, though.
interact or
Right.
how they will be and how their day will go. Because
Yeah.
then you
She's
check.
like, you know, this girl just checked me today, and it changed the whole perspective of my
Because
day.
after that, it's like, hey, you need to be careful.
Right.
Like, no, I'm good. Like,
I do that to people who are being really negative. I will check somebody about being negative. I will point out what's the good side of something in half a second. And then usually they'll be like, you know what, you're right. You're right.
because we need each other.
Yeah.
We need to check in with each other. We need to check each other
Yeah.
and say, hey, you know what, ain't even like that. How you
Cause she'll check me in a minute. And that's one of the things that is good when you have friends like that.
Yes.
Because some people will not check you, but they'll go and talk about you behind your back about how, well, you know, I was with Dion and she said X, Y, Z. And you know, she said this about you, girl. But I don't gossip. You know.
Sorry.
But no, that's
You know, and that's what I
real
don't like.
friends or
And that's why,
whatnot.
like, for me, like, I'm glad that certain things happen in my life. You know, I'm very thankful. That's when I post Grateful Queen, I'm grateful that it happened. It hurt like the dickens.
Oh yes.
Because people
feel
were
there.
close to me, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm a giver. Like, I don't care. Like, if you my friend, you know that.
Yeah, if we
And you know
good,
that, but
we good.
and if I have a problem with you, I'm gonna come to you and I'm gonna say, listen, I ain't like what you did, blah 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 blah, and that's it. But when it go past me and you, now we got a problem.
Yeah.
Because now you just disrespected the whole
friendship.
the confidentiality,
the agreement we had as our relationship.
Exactly. You know, I'm not a bad person to get along with, but I don't take a lot of stuff. You know, but my thing is for people, a lot of times they don't get that.
Stop it now. All right, I was telling the truth, right? I'm back. I was telling the truth, right? It was a really, really dope conversation. And guess what? You know how I feel about them teasers, you know? I give you a little, then I pull back a little. Then I give you a little, and then I pull back a little. Well, stick with me. Like, comment, and subscribe. I am a vibe. You're going to like it here. And I promise you there will be a lot more great conversations between me, Queen, and undomesticated John. Lots of them. Thank you for making it to the end. Share with somebody else. Tell everybody else about what's going on over in the Simply Tiffany show. Love you all to life. Peace. I'm out.